So we start the view for heat number 2, all on the man who made the longest trip down to Ipswich today from Bowness near Edinburgh in Scotland. 247 Graham McCabe started his journey Friday evening at 7 o'clock. Started his way down, got his passport stamped at the border and stopped off near Darlington on the A1. Continued with his journey this morning and made his way into Ipswich Stadium mid-afternoon. An epic trip, one in which he has prepared his car, took it out for practice at Lochgelly on Wednesday night, and it went well. And certainly that has been converted into his performance here tonight, winning his first ever race in classic hot rods and making this long journey extremely worthwhile. Well done to Graham for that opening event, and we will see whether he can replicate it in the second heat, which is featured with the yellow tops for tonight's race, 271 Jamie Johnson and 31 Steve Gooding. Big gap back to this evening's A-grade blue top drivers, featuring number 6 Graham Fulker, and the man instantly upgraded from his great performance last Saturday night at Northampton when he won 2 heats, 58 Steve Lumley. Steve now resides in the blue tops in that Sonny Howard prepared car, which Steve has been quite honest, in which Andy Steward has helped him quite a bit in understanding what goes into prepping a car to handle right around the ovals, and he's there and doing extremely well. Our national champion with the gold stripe, 333 Lee Wood. Out there again. Good battle in heat number 1. Was hoping to replicate his performance from last year when he actually took the triple of the 2 heats and the final, but it wasn't to be. So Lee, having contented himself with a 5th place finish in heat number 1, out there to try again with 121 Charlie Shembry right behind, 45 Craig Boyd, and 144 Tim Foxlow. Now further back we have the man who really is the man to beat in classic hot rods at the moment, 198 Andy Steward, and Andy made quite an impact into the advantage that Graham McCabe enjoyed in heat number 1. Came second, had reeled in the gap quite a bit, but it wasn't quite enough to deny Graham the win. Now 161 Dan Holden on his inside, 2013 national champion, and he did that on a rain-soaked night at Hednesford. And the 2 men at the back, 72 Gary Goodswin, who has had a great start to the year, having hauled in the points at Northampton and at Wimbledon early season. This is Gary's last event where he is featured as a novice grade driver. He will then qualify to be part of the points and part of the true grades from his next meeting, which will likely to be at our next event at Hednesford, which is at the end of May. 265 Ray Harding. This is his 3rd and final meeting as a novice grade driver in what has certainly been one of the cars for 2015 as far as the paint jobs are concerned. Every car out here is really quite a work of art, and a great effort to all those drivers who prepare their machines week in, week out to partake in classic hot rods, and certainly one of the most popular non-contact four-wheelers out there on the ovals today. So 247 Graham McCabe on the rolling lap, 271 Jamie Johnson and 31 Steve Gooding, the men to initially try and keep on board with McCabe, and we're going to get ready to go. Green flag drops and we are away. So McCabe on his way once again, and can he do the double? 58, Steve Lumley goes into third, and 31, Steve Gooding already finding the pace to be rather quick. Perhaps his car not being quite on song tonight. 198, Andy Steward looking on the inside of 144, Tim Foxlow. Foxlow lets him go. As he now piles up the inside of number 6, Graham Volker. And follows hotly behind 45, Craig Boyd. Just ahead is 121, Charlie Shembury as they go on the home straight once again. Boyd looking for the inside line as they move through turn 1, out of 2, 121, 45, 198, 144, 161, number 6 and 72, Gary Goodswin. And now the pressure is on from 198, Andy Steward, as they look for the inside line on 121, Charlie Shembury. Into turn 3, out of 4. And the 198 goes smoothly on through, looking for the inside line on Boyd. And it's always remarkable how Andy seems to just know where those gaps are, creates the space and moves through to take another position. And now on the inside of 271, Jamie Johnson into turn 1, followed by Boyd. 144, Tim Foxlow trying to follow the steps of immediately ahead. And as we've concentrated on the field, unfortunately Graham McCabe has failed in his quest to do the double in heat number 2. He's out. So looking for the lead car to come through again, and here he is. 58, Steve Lumley is your lead driver from 333, Lee Wood, and 198, Andy Steward. In 4th is 45, Craig Boyd. And now the battle is on really for that second place as Stewart now looking for the gap to present itself. Trying to get past the national champion 333 Lee Wood, and 198 Andy Stewart has got that place. So it's Lumley from Stewart, and then comes Wood, Boyd and Foxlow. This is going to be the story of the race now, as 198 begins to haul in at 58, Steve Lumley. Lumley having won 2 victories so far in 2015. Can he possibly hold on ahead of Stewart in 198 as they come to lap the 131 car of Steve Gooding? Mark II Escos 1 and 2, just ahead of the HB Viva of 333 Lee Wood, and the A40 of 45 Craig Boyd. Top 4 all together. The form book in this race following through a little bit more as expected. And Lumley through again. But how much longer now? As here comes Andy Stewart looking for the gap. Lumley tries to shut the door, but 198 coming through. And Stewart gets the premier slot in heat number 2. Your lead driver from 58, Steve Lumley, 333 Lee Wood. Wood trying to follow through. Quite close, then there's a bit of a gap to 144, Tim Foxlow in 5th place. And now Stewart begins to break away. away just a little bit. The battle for second, though, still rages. Turn 1 and 2 once again. Andy Steward. Top 5. Big gap to Charlie Shembury. And there is your checkered flag with Steward taking his 7th race victory of 2015. He is the man that is dominating the sport so far this season, but he still has to work for it. That's 198 Andy Steward. Steve Lumley, a great battle to hold on to that second, ahead of 333 Lee Wood, 45 Craig Boyd, 144 Tim Foxlow, and the 6th place man would have been 121 Charlie Shembury. It was really all about those 5 drivers in that heat, but a great battle, and 198 Andy Steward, a deserved winner of that second heat tonight.